Hey boys and girls, welcome back to Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. In the last episode we faced off against the wild lights of the angry wiggler of the express railway, learning the true nature of the dark mass tentacle encasing the railroad of Terra Florum through the contamination caused by Cursa's dark mass. It was able to parasitically take control of the very mascots the train was based upon in the very first place, using its quick temper to create a perfect monster to secure her influence over the planet, for any crazy enough and willing enough to try to mess with her galactic rule. Overall, quite a interesting episode in the last one, just because of everything to do with the Wiggler Express Railway, and, well, we got to actually do a Spark mission too, which is actually pretty cool, fixing up the rest of the railway, like clearing out all the thorns that are like in the middle of the railway, as we can see over there, because we could kind of still see them, but obviously, just kind of interesting, honestly. It was pretty cool, and we got to, like, really get to meet Sullivan and stuff like that. But in today's episode, we're going to be making our way to Mount Spout, this giant water volcano that apparently has another one of the dark mass tentacles inside of it. And if we could do that, well, let's be honest here, apparently we'll be able to fix up this world and hopefully bring some much-needed rainwater back to the world of Terra Florum, because at the current moment it's definitely not doing too good, and poor Bowser got stuck in the block over there. See you later, Bowser. We'll be inside. But, yeah, definitely, so far Terra Florum has been pretty cool, for the most part, from everything we've got to do so far. I definitely will say that. Also, it looks like we have a Magnafowl hunt over here. I'm trying to get B some sugar-free blueberry rose, hit mineral water, but Magnafowls are everywhere. If you could give the ol' heave-ho to just 3 Magnafowls, I can still do right by poor B. Yeah, we can definitely help out the Queen Bee, as well as you, buddy. But so let's definitely grab our first things first is obviously getting our little teleport flying first. And actually, I'm kind of curious. Is there a map for here? Oh, there is a map. Okay, that's interesting. This is the first world that we've actually had 2 maps inside, like, extra areas. That's interesting. So, from what we can see at the current moment, we have Toad Trouble on Terra Florum. We have Magic Koopa the Magnificent. Magic Koopa the Magnificent, you say? And then dive into the dark mess. As well as something over here, the Blue Coin Challenge. Although it looks like it's kind of like inside an area, which is weird. Huh, okay then. Well, that's obviously going to lead to a memory, so if we can find that Blue Coin Challenge, we should definitely do it. But, honestly, let's make our way further into Mount Spout here, because, honestly, I'm quite interested to see what's really going on in here. And a water volcano is definitely pretty cool of an idea, to be completely fair, because, normally volcanoes are, fire and lava, so if the first thing to think about is, like, ooh, water, that's actually kind of interesting, or, like, even an ice volcano would be pretty cool. But it says to go over to our left, and it looks like there is a nice ladder for us. Gotta love those, like, scanning puzzles. I like how it shows you, like, ideas of if you were to scan a certain area, for it to be like, oh, okay, try checking over here, and you may actually find what you're looking for. It's actually pretty interesting. But, looks like all we need to do here is obviously scan this a couple times to bring down the thorns and destroy the bad while keeping the good vines, which is pretty cool. I like that ability, because there's 2, like, ways of, like, dealing with it. Also, I felt like there was something scannable back here, although it's just a couple of coins, but still pretty interesting. But, just like we broke the thorns there, we create new life by making a whole new bridge for us to cross. Definitely interesting for puzzles-wise for this world. Another, memory, or no, that's not a memory, that's a potion. That's the cleansing potion that we could buy. Interesting that that's hiding back there. I actually did think it was a memory, though, to be completely fair. But, let's see here. Looks like we need to bring this into the pipe over here, from what I understand. From what I can currently see. Because, obviously we need to throw this at one of these dark mess eyes. But first we need to obviously grow a nice little bridge. Anything else we should know about? Doesn't look like it. So obviously bring this on over here, and toss that at the Dark Messiah. And then from here, looks like we need to break off the thorn that's over there. Some kind of blooper thing over there that's pretty cool looking. And then other than that, it looks like pretty much just make our way back over this way. Okay, seems simple enough for the puzzle. It looks like mostly what we're doing is just trying to get rid of all the thorns in our path at the current moment, while also trying to figure out where to go from there. Is that, what is this moving exactly? It sounds like it should be... Oh, okay. I just didn't do it fast enough, I guess. I was wondering what was going on there. So let's check out our little, deep-sea diver with some nice, little bloopers inside of them. Thanks to the antioxidants in B's superior infusion, B stopped an undersea volcano from erupting with her bare hands. They're making a movie of the week about it too. Talk about product placement. Okay then, interesting. Very, very interesting. So from here, we have Dive into the Dark Mess, which obviously has a memory attached to it. And how do you get over there, though? That's the real question. Because I see a Magnifal over here, but for the most part, I don't see anything specifically. Oh, okay. Obviously, a secret bridge. Well, honestly, since we have one right here, we might as well do it. So dive into the Dark Mess. Let's get on into it. Since, honestly, I'm quite curious, since all these missions seem to be pretty interesting. And honestly, I definitely like, actually 100% completing this game for you guys. Just because, well, honestly, I'm having a lot of fun with this, and actually I'm going to be really sad when we're done with it. Although, thankfully, there is going to be, content after the game is over, thankfully. Since, obviously, there's DLC stuff coming, and apparently it's 3 separate, stories. One that seems to be with Spawny, as well as Madame Bostrella, in some kind of tower. What seems to be, I'm not really sure, it might be I actually have no idea, but it shows another, character kind of like the Spark Hunters on the front of it. And then, obviously, the Raymond story. So there's definitely going to be some interesting stuff coming in the near future. When it eventually comes out. But I'm still looking forward to it nonetheless. There's no way around that. But definitely, from everything, I definitely gotta say, I'm definitely looking forward to it. So I say we don't waste Vamp Dash on this guy. Just because, well, let's be honest here, it's definitely probably better to hold off on going on Vamp Dash on an enemy like that. But we definitely go for a double up on that guy, I think. I think that's definitely worth an option. But now we can probably go Ethereal, I think. Because Edge, likes to be invisible. Being as invisible as possible is actually the safest thing we can do as a team in this game, to be completely fair. But, honestly, now to send in some Rabbid I don't know why I can't say that. Rabbid Mecha Koopas to do a little bit of the job over here. Is if we can get a decent amount into these enemies before, turn 1 is over, I think we should be pretty safe. And honestly, we do have our new Ooze Master. We can send him in now, I think. Although, how do we want to do it? I think we could summon him up here, per se. So you know what? Summon the Oozer. He gives us 1050 HP, as well as a 733 damage, which has a chance of silencing and disarming enemies. So he should be pretty good. And also, he's blue, which is also pretty cool. But all those enemies now can't attack now, which is pretty good. And he's weak to Ooze, so we actually got a lot out of that. Okay, well, we also have the ability to put things to sleep. So let's definitely drop these 2 over here for a turn. Because then they won't be able to do anything. And then, honestly, from there, we just probably work against the guy that's on this side. And just blast him into next century. Because at the current moment, we really don't need to worry too much. Although, is that really what we want to do? Because, well, let's be honest here, Bowser's can do a little bit of things here, but for the most part, he's not going to do too much. Because obviously, the only thing we can really do here is do a nice, drop down on both of these guys and try and see, what kind of, small things we can possibly do. It's not a lot, but it's something. It's definitely something. Other than that, trying to think of what we can do here. Because we have a couple options. We have the option of... Honestly, I have an idea, actually. We can go over here, we can make sure this guy over here is actually sleeping, / knocked out in some sort of way, just to make sure he doesn't do anything. And then we could... Well, we can't reach him, actually. But we can prepare for him in the near future, while just staying up here, I think. And also, apparently you can become oozed just by touching them. Interesting. That's actually very interesting. I didn't know that happened. But apparently that is a thing. And also, touching your own oozer actually poisons you too. Huh. Okay then. Interesting. Well, one of the enemies down via poison is definitely not a bad thing. Although, being poisoned is not a good thing. But, not a lot of damage being taken, thankfully. And these oozer enemies actually can move pretty far. So this guy actually seems pretty good, because he's dropping their ability to attack, like, constantly. Although, he's kind of, Actually, wait a minute. Did he do it on our own characters, or did he not? Because it looks like he completely messed up with all of our characters. Okay, then. That's odd. I don't know why that looks like that, but it definitely does. And I don't feel like that's a good thing at all. But, it's not the worst case scenario. It could be worse. But, I definitely don't like the idea of being, like, not able to attack, though. For sure. But let's put him to sleep. And let's try and maybe figure something out here. Because although we can't attack, we may be able to still do something here. That along the lines of, being able to completely mess up these enemies without having to worry as much about it. Although, it is still a weird scenario, nonetheless. I do think we can set up Stormblade. I do have one point in it where now we're doing a little bit more damage. Obviously, it's not a really, strong version of Stormblade, but it's something, at least. At least we're doing something with it. So it's not, the worst case scenario for what we can do with the ability. Also, Bowser's completely stuck on that side of the map. Oof. Poor guy. I didn't mean to move him like that, because I was thinking Rosalina was going to be able to make her way over here too. But apparently she was just out of range. There we go. I want to make sure she's able to do something. Other than that, I don't think we really have anything we can do. We can throw in some extra dashes, maybe, and that'll maybe help us knock out the... maybe. It's not... It's close. It's very, very close to knocking him out. So that wasn't too bad. I'm going to set up a Regenesis just in case. Just so we have the... Just in case our HP is starting to come in. Although, other than that, well, we can remove the negative effects on ourselves. You know what, Bowser, you do that. I kind of like the idea of making sure this guy doesn't do that again. So let's just blast him in the next century. There we go. That's not too bad. Because the thing is, at the current moment, I haven't had a reason to use those items yet. So, probably making sure that, we're safe is honestly probably the safest option in the end. So, that wasn't too bad, honestly. Could have been much worse. Just because of the fact that, well, we had 2 of those items, so at least we got to use them, and now we, have a reason to use them in the future. So, honestly, I'm actually a lot happier that we actually got to try them out than not trying them out at all. Let's send out the good old Rabbid Mecha Koopas towards this little oozer over here, and blow him sky high, because I'm pretty sure his HP doesn't allow him to survive this, because these guys have about 800 HP, normally, yeah. He didn't even get a chance. Poor guy got completely decimated by everything to do with that. Okay, not bad. Definitely not bad. Okay. Well, I do see the idea of maybe doing a nice little smash down with Bowser. Okay, so far so good. Well, we have a couple options there, although I'm not too certain about it. I don't think we can get Edge into position at all. Yeah, we're completely out of range, so we can't do anything along the lines of what I would normally like to do with Edge. But that doesn't mean that we can't do nothing. I think as long as we kind of move back just a slight bit, yeah, we can do a little bit of something. And the thing is I think the Oozer's damage might knock him out as soon as his turn ends up coming back up. So, also, Bowser can do the last hit, so we're perfectly good there. Good, okay. A little worried about that for a second. That ended up being pretty good. I think what we need to do is... Actually, I don't think we can. Yeah, we're just out of range. But we can, per se, go for a nice vamp attack on Rosalina here, and then obviously get a little bit of HP back. Because the thing is as long as we send in these purple Cheerios and... or good old Fruit Loops, well, honestly, our little HP bar is going to be, you know, a little bit healthier than it was before, to be fair. So that wasn't, like, too bad of a movement. And then Edge really can't do much from the current position that we're in. But as long as we don't get, like, Oozers, I think we're pretty good for anything that does happen to think about spawning out of these portals. Because it seems like it's just going to be squashers, but there is a secondary portal, so now I feel like there could be different enemies spawning now. Although the poor squasher got completely decimated there, so I guess he doesn't get a chance. So, honestly, not too bad for us. I do think we should maybe prepare with Ethereal, though. Just in case, because you never honestly know. So, being prepared is probably safe. Ooh, hello, Ooze Barrel. You know what? We're gonna go for that. That's a free hit on him, and it also gives him what he's weak to. So he's gonna easily start losing HP quickly. Other than that, I don't really know if keeping Rosalina up there is a safe idea. Also, I kind of gave Ooze to the wrong character. Not the safest idea, but maybe it won't be too bad. I guess we'll find out. But I think as long as we safely move our allies to a place where both of them are in, like, separate zones, I think we should be perfectly fine there. Because Edge is, you know, Edge is going to do what she wants to do best, and that's being as close to the enemies as possible, while also being completely invisible. Also, apparently we're just in range of getting hit by the Magnifowl there. Ow. That was a lot of damage. And the thing is we actually can't be seen, so that's actually really bad to be hit like that. And also, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get... Okay, well, apparently he got pushed out of position, and Rosalina ended up going down. Oof. That wasn't too good. So we definitely need to go Vamp Dash now. But that's a lot of enemies. Jeez, okay. Well, that's definitely not good. And that's far from good. But, as long as we do this right, there's nothing bad that's gonna be, like, too bad here, honestly. Because all we have to do is really, you know, blast that. But I think that maybe doing another Vamp Dash here would be pretty smart. And obviously move right out of range, go for a nice blast here with Bowser. But I think probably... Actually, we should probably do this differently, maybe. How do I want to do this? Because I think there's two options here. We send in the Magic Koopa, or... Actually, no, wait. No, it's actually safer if we do it this way, actually, now I see it. So, obviously, go for the Bowzuka. Blast out the Magnifowl, so he doesn't have a chance of getting anywhere near me. I'm surprised his magnet was able to pull Edge, though, there, to be completely fair. I don't know how that happened, but it did. It's very weird, but it ended up happening. It wasn't a good thing. But, thankfully, I think, although that was a bad situation, for the most part, it could have been worse, to be fair. Although I do think maybe sending in some Magic Koopa, or the Mecha Koopas in now, the Rabbid ones, and maybe using them as a shield of sorts for whatever that comes out of that other portal, because whatever ends up coming out of that portal is more than likely going to be a Magnifowl. And two, well, Edge and Bowser are the only two still up, because this map is actually hitting pretty hard. So we definitely need to be careful. Also, he brought all the... Okay, interesting. That was very interesting. But, he wanted to blow himself up, I guess. But Bowser's gonna get hits. Thankfully, that's not too bad. His 1000 damage for Bowser is not too bad at all. Because Bowser has a lot of HP. So he's very okay with getting hit with a little bit of damage. Although, enemies spawning like that is a different situation, for sure. That is definitely a way different situation. Honestly, there's only one option here. Stormblading. because honestly, for the most part, we only have 2 abilities here. We either attack or we Stormblade. So, honestly, probably Stormblade. Use Bowser to bounce him up in the air, do a little bit of extra damage. And then, honestly, from here, we could maybe go along the lines of turbocharging, because 60% damage extra is pretty good. Probably could have done that earlier, to be fair, but honestly, I was kind of more worried about what I wanted to do with my next movement, to be fair. And then honestly, I think getting rid of the Squasher up there is probably pretty safe. Honestly, other than that, I think all we really need to do is just get out of range of these enemies. Because at the current moment, it's just survive, so survive in any means possible is literally all we really need to do. So honestly, Bowser, you just run for your life, buddy. That's all I gotta say, just get to the other side of the map. And then from there, hopefully we can use Regenesis to get a little bit more HP, and maybe heal you up completely, although I'm not 100% on that. Probably don't need to for Edge, because the thing is, as long as Bowser has a good chunk of HP left. Also, we get another Spark Point, that's pretty interesting. Okay, cool. But I do think we survived this no matter what. The reason why I wanted to just make sure, because you never honestly know. But definitely a very kind of difficult map with how, like, small the whole area is, and with the fact that there's so many Magnafowls, and the Squasher enemies aren't really a problem. The Oozers are, but for the most part, Squasher enemies are pretty simple enemies to deal with. But for the most part, yeah, definitely those Magnafowls, if they get you on top, or you get on top of them, and, well, you get pulled in by a magnet dance, even if you're invisible, you still get bashed in quite a lot, which is terrifying. But, honestly, we got our memory, and that's, pretty much what that was all about. So, Mount Spout. So, Gooby, grab this, because now we're going to learn more about Mount Spout here. The secret to Terraflora's perpetually blossoming flora is a highly unique water volcano known as Mount Spout, which regularly discharges mineral-rich sparkling water into the planet's canals and aquifers. The rainbow-hued fields of flowers on Terraflora may get all the glory, but it's the stark, yet consistent volcano that allows them to thrive. Interesting. Also, there was another one that I picked up right next to the Wiggler Express train in between episodes because I didn't notice it while we were walking up to it. But there was one, like, literally right to our right in the opening there. But, here we go. The Wiggler Express train. On Terraflora, we became acquainted with the Terraflora railway system, which is connects its central station to the base of Mount Spout, and is run by its charming conductor, Sullivan. I don't know why I said Sullivan, but some consider steam trains to be antiquated. But the train on Terraflora operates in harmony with its floral surroundings. It is a masterpiece of engineering, and it's pretty perfect for the planet because, let's be honest here, Wiggler is a, flower-based creature because obviously the flower on his head. But, it definitely fits the theming of the world for sure, just because of everything to do with Wiggler. So it's definitely pretty cool. Also, I'm gonna go for a nice heal because we definitely are in desperate need of a heal there. Also, I wish you got, any kind of, points towards a hunt, as long as you deal with a certain type of enemy. I'm surprised that you don't, but for some reason you don't, which is a little unfortunate. Also, where are we going here? Because I don't see an opening here. And it seems like it's definitely not in here, based on current positioning, unless the bridge is... Yep, there is a bridge in here. I wasn't too sure there, to be honest. Because I thought we walked over here, but didn't get the sound for it. But, there we go. And off we go. But with another side quest done, well, let's be honest here, we're definitely starting to make some more progress here. And honestly, where's this one leading? Looks like some kind of bridge to another puzzle of some sort. Although it looks like it is also taking us to where we want to go as well. Although the one that we're looking at is over here. Interesting. Well, one, we have to find a way over there first. But it looks like what we're looking for right now is obviously Unless there's a bridge. Yep, there's a bridge. We're going over there right now. Because the thing is I didn't notice that there was no blocks for us to push over there. So here's our block. Anything else that's over here just in case, because invisible items are definitely a thing. So being careful just in case is always a good thing. Let's definitely prepare this little potion box for what seems to be for the square button over here. And then whatever's over there that we can do with this. Looks like we need the square button, green button to be pressed as well, based on what we can see. Other than that, for the most part, it seems like this puzzle requires us to maybe go up here, just because there's an upper area here. And probably an invisible box. Yep, definitely an invisible box. Okay, cool. Let's push this on down, and then we'll leave that down there for a second while we check out anything that might be hiding up here, because there could be a memory, there could not be. Nope, no memories up here. Very hidden memories on this world, to be fair, so definitely good to double check things, because you never honestly know. But let's grab our potion box, slide this one right into the place of where it needs to be for the green button, and just like so, open up another pathway. Although, not sure if that's going to lead to our next area, but it definitely seems like it. There's a memory up there behind that dark mess puddle, so note that for later, if we can grab that in episode, because sometimes we can't grab them all in episodes. So it's definitely good to, note them for later if I need to pick them up later, because we've been really good on reading all the memories. So, there's no reason not to read them. But, looks like we can make our way to the next area. Not bad. Pretty simple puzzles in this area. Some puzzles can be pretty, decently hard. Like the railway puzzle, for sure. That one was kind of a toughie. But for the most part, pretty simple puzzles as long as you know what you're doing. But Toad Treble on Terraflorum. Honestly, let's get on into it. I see a memory back there, so it's definitely worth it. Because we can only buy one of our memories from the sales bots. So making sure we pick up our memories is definitely a good thing. Because, honestly, most of them are going to be hidden. But Toad Treble definitely is a reach area, okay? I was wondering about that one. Although this one doesn't look too terribly hard. Although it does look like we do have a pathway to follow. Okay, interesting. Okay, so basically, we need to make it to the top left part of the map. Okay, seems easy enough. Although, things are definitely easier said than done, for sure. But, for the most part, it doesn't seem too bad. And hopefully we can get some spark refreshes. Sadly didn't get one, but at least we tried to get one. Okay, so, noticing that there's no jump panels on this world, a little unfortunate, because I really like those jump panels. But, it looks like we're definitely going to need to take a little bit of an edge boost here if we want to get a decent amount in here quickly as possible. Hopefully drop right into range of, just out of range of doing anything. So first turn is definitely going to be dealing with enemies normally, which is not something Edge normally does, to be fair. So, definitely going to be interesting. But Rosalina probably can do something interesting over here, no matter what, since, let's be honest here, we put the enemies to sleep if we need to prepare ourselves for extra movement. So, honestly, not a bad idea, for sure. Down they go, and now we can start figuring out what we really want to do here, because we can set up for sure, but I feel like probably waiting a turn, and then letting everything, let us set up over time is probably better. So let's not go for the enemies yet, and then see what we can do for there. Because honestly, most of the enemies are Sea Stooges, from what we can see. There's no Lone Wolves or anything, so they're not super long range. They're decently mid-range, but for the most part we shouldn't be, forced to worry about them on turn 1, as long as we did what we did. So, pretty good. Okay, now is when we start dealing with enemies. Sadly, our turbo charge didn't get much use there, but for the most part that wasn't too bad. But we definitely go Vamp Dash, I think, now, because now we can take full advantage here. We also got a Spark Energy back, so we got one of our points back there. Not bad, not bad. We can definitely work with that. Other than that, though, there's definitely things we need to figure out here in order for this turn to work out perfectly. Because Bowser is definitely going to need to move here if he wants to do what he wants to do best. Drop on top of these guys, smash them in, and dash into you because you're a free knockout. And apparently you survived. I'm very surprised about that, buddy. I don't know how, but you did. You definitely did. Not very sure on how you did that, to be fair. But down you go into sleep mode. Okay, so I'm kind of curious here. If Rosalina were to move edge, how far can we possibly go? Because I feel like we could probably make a decent distance here if we take advantage of it. So, let's see here. It's not too bad. We can definitely probably work with this. Okay, well, let's make our way on over. We're probably going to have to go ethereal, though, for sure, for going out this far. Just because it's probably safer at this point in the map. Just because, one, it's safety reasons. Two, honestly, I think we'll be pretty okay with that. Although, not much we can do, other than maybe Stormblade here. Because we can maybe catch one of these Sea Stooges off guard if they end up deciding to run past us, but other than that, there's not really much there. But it's something we can try. And then I think spawning some Rabbid Mechakoopas here would probably be a good idea. Because I feel like what we can do is more than likely start spawning in the Oozer to start preparing for the Sea Stooge on the other side of the map, I think. Because for the most part, as long as we send it in right, we should get a decent motion, and also we'll have a nice safety as well, just in case. Probably could have spawned him closer, but for the most part, that's probably not too bad. And then I think what we can do is, yep, we can pick you up. Let's bring you a little bit closer for safety reasons, because maybe the enemy will focus that instead. And if it does, that'll be pretty good, honestly. But yeah, I think that's pretty much our entire movement there. And then honestly, Bowser can just do what he does best and stay in safety. Because I'm not really sure what the Sea Stooge is going to do yet. He's moving closer, although he didn't trigger our Stormblade there. So not exactly what we wanted to happen. But honestly, not a bad thing, though. But at least because we're ethereal, we got like an interesting look at what the enemies are trying to do here. Because for the most part, the Goombas are definitely something we need to dash in and completely, get rid of them on our own. But for the most part, it definitely seems like there's a interesting dynamic that we have to do here in order to do this map, for the most part. Because for the most part, as long as you stay out of the range of the Goombas here, it definitely looks like we can easily deal with these enemies. Only thing is they can bounce us back if they get the chance. So we need to be very, very careful, for sure. But as long as we're safe, we make movements that are smart, we can easily deal with everything here. Because these guys we can dash double into. We can double dash these Goombas here and get both of them off the map. So that's a for sure thing we should definitely do. Then definitely dashing those guys is a good start too. Maybe, well, getting rid of both of them is also pretty good. Okay, not bad. Pretty good movement. We're right next to the reach area. These enemies are kind of just waiting for us. If we had the Halo version of the Flying Blade, we'd actually be able to hit all three of them. Sadly, we can't. But we could still do a little bit of something. I think probably hitting this guy might be a good idea if we want to do anything. Because if he does decide to come over here, we can maybe get a knockout on him. It's definitely worth trying to go for. But I don't think any of the enemies are close enough to us to where we need to worry about Rosalina. Because these enemies can't vault. Unlike us, where we can vault over partial cover. Which is pretty cool. I really like that ability, honestly. I think it's one of the coolest abilities in the game. Being able to vault over, movement covers and be able to kind of completely change the aspect of where you are, and then obviously, kind of mess with the enemies as much as you possibly can. Because this is pretty cool, honestly, just being able to, do all this, because it's extra movement that you don't normally have in the original game. And just like that, done with another good old side quest. Saved another toad, too, in the process. Not bad, not bad. 460 star bits, too. That's enough to almost get a fully level 5 on Well, obviously, almost the amount to get a level 5, but definitely not bad. Also, what's going on with you, Mr. Toad? I should probably stick to exploring things like art museums and self-guided nature trails. Probably, Mr. Toad. I'm gonna be fair there, buddy. You guys are, not the luckiest creatures around. I'll definitely say that. But the Druid's Vista. The Druid, you say? Water erosion from Terra Flora's Mount Spouts created many cave passages over time. One such space served as a headquarters for the Druids, who were obsessed with uncovering the secrets behind the water's mysterious properties. It is located inside a lateral vent, the view from which is awe-inspiring. Interesting, maybe we should take a look at that, because that definitely seems like something we definitely will need to check out. That seems like a pretty interesting looking area. Although I'm very surprised the Professor Backpack's not over there. Instead, he decided to pick a whole different area. That's interesting. Okay, well, we have enough for our effervescent key, so I think we should definitely grab that first, so we can get the secret zone later. And also, we can get our lore book now. Might as well. And probably the only skin that probably works with regular Peach, other than maybe her gleaming weapon, because we haven't seen her gleaming one yet. But her regular Boombrella is pretty much like the only skin that actually matches her. So, honestly, definitely grab that while we're here, because this will be a decent amount of progress for us, which is pretty cool. But definitely not bad. But let's look at our new memory, since we did buy one there. So, Magnifowls. I could be forgiven for not taking these creatures seriously at first, for isn't that the purpose of rubber chickens? Not in this case. The unconventional weapon acts as a magnet, drawing heroes to it against their will, where they can be pounded like a Colt cutlets. The rubber weapon gives them resistance to electricity, while their feline penchant for cleanliness makes them susceptible to filthy ooze attacks. Interesting. So that's why they're... Okay, so they're resistant to the electrical attacks because of the rubber chicken. That's pretty interesting. And also, that's our giant enemy for this world. Hello, giant Magikoopa. Interesting. We haven't seen a Magikoopa enemy yet in this game. So, seeing a giant variant's pretty interesting. Okay, so we need 28 for that. We have enough for the other one in the last world for Palette Prime. So we can definitely get ready for the giant depleter at some point. But the thing is giant Magikoopa. Interesting. I wonder what kind of, how that enemy's gonna work in normal battles, because we've never seen a normal one. Oh, hello. What's this? Is that the... Oh no, this is a completely different weapon. Super Mushroom Chest DX. I was about to say, was that the 70%, but this is actually something I think bigger. Ooh, 100% HP back. Okay then, that's very nice. That is a very nice item, because we can't buy those yet. We can only get the 70% versions. So that is huge. That is huge. Okay then. Thanks, I guess? That's all I gotta say. Well, we can open up that, but there's still a vine in between it. But we do have our blue coin challenge, and we usually get a memory for these, so let's make our way in there. Pretty cool that we've had multiple memories back to back for, like, the planet coin missions. Pretty interesting. But let's take a look around here to see what we're dealing with. Looks like we have a button here that's not unlocked. Any reason to go over here? Not really. Okay. Interesting. Okay, we'll press the button and we'll see what happens. It turns on the little button here for, obviously, starting the mission, so there's a reason for it. Although we do need to make sure we grab our things as quick as possible, while also, obviously, grabbing these coins as quick as possible, because they definitely seem like they'll disappear on us quite quickly if we're not careful. But for the most part, this one definitely seems like we need to move. Okay, we need to move quickly. Okay. Oh, did I get him? Nope, I was just out of time. Oops. Okay. Well, it looked like that was basically the last one, but now that's in place. So now, no matter what ends up happening, although it did respawn, oops. Okay, so that's an answer for that. but it doesn't seem like us taking extra time to grab the earlier ones affects us too much. As long as we do grab them, is the problem. So far, it doesn't seem too hard, for the most part. As long as we do things right, and we're, preparing early for the areas. Only thing is pushing these in place in time is more of your problem. So making sure, you grab the box and pull it is obviously what you need to be careful about. Blue coin challenge complete. Another planet coin for us. As well as, obviously, a chest full of coins. And another memory. So let's see what's inside this memory, because it should be the atlas for the planet, based on the other worlds. So let's learn more about Terra Flora here, because there's definitely still stuff we don't know about it. So Galactic Atlas Terra Florum. Terra Flora's beauty is almost overwhelming, and the way the Rabbids here have cooperated and collaborated with nature, rather than bend it to their will, is the reason why. The railroad tracks are made from plants and vines, the warden resides in the Everbloom tree, and everything is irrigated using a natural spring. The effort expended must have been extraordinary, but it was well worth it. You can definitely say that. It's definitely a really cool world, and I really like it, but we're only missing one memory there, and it looks like only 3 memories left for this world. Interesting. So, one's definitely attached to, like, a missing area that's obviously, like, a double character challenge area, because we've only had one of those for this world, so one's definitely there. Not sure about the other memories, though. There's a Magnifal over there, but can't really go anywhere from there. But it seems like there's only one path for us to go right now, and that is continuing forward to Metalheads. Okay, Metalheads it is. And it's definitely going towards our main quest, too. So Metalheads for good old Uncork the Volcano. Honestly, what do they mean by Metalheads, though? Probably the Goombas, maybe, with the pots on their heads? It seems like it. Okay, interesting. Defeat the armored Goombas. Well, we've definitely dealt with these guys in droves before, so this shouldn't be too hard. Although I do see some enemies that are obviously not Goombas. Lone Wolves over here, Lone Wolf up there, 2 Lone Wolves in the back. But other than that, 17 Goombas. Okay. Well, for the most part, because we're dealing with enemies like the Goombas, I do think we should change. Normally, I don't change my characters too often, just because, like I said in the beginning, I wanted to focus specifically on the new characters, but because we are dealing with multiple enemies here, it's safer to, actually prepare and be careful, because you never honestly know. So we'll go with Mario and Rabbid Peach here, because both of them can easily target multiple enemies on their own. So we should be pretty good with that. Although, how do we want to move Rabbid Peach here? Because I think Rabbid Peach... Actually, yeah, that's probably good. I think that could be pretty good here, because Rabbid Peach with extra HP might be smart. Because Rabbid Peach is a healer, so extra HP probably would be better for her. 4,000 HP is not bad. So, I think that's probably good. Because the thing is Mario can bounce off the Goomba's heads to do, technically, a dash, and it flips them over. And then, obviously, Rabbid Peach has double dash, which is pretty good. Other than that, Edge has a lot of dashes. So as long as we play this safe and smart, and obviously, change up our team just a slight bit to, be prepared for this mission, honestly, we should be pretty fine. But I think first things first is figuring out where we want to go on this map. Because there's options here I can see, and there's definitely ways we want to move. Probably dealing with the Lone Wolves is an idea, for sure. Although I do think Edge might want to make their way into the inner circle area, I think. Could be wrong, but it might end up being a good thing. Although I think Mario I might want on this side of the map, to be fair. Because I feel like him maybe double bouncing off these enemies might be a smart idea. I guess we'll find out. But I feel safer about this option, just in general. Because then, obviously, we get a little bit on these guys, we get a little bit of movement, because now we can, prepare on this side of the map. No enemies should be able to really get to us from here. So Mario is pretty safe. And then we can slowly but surely start working on the lone wolves over here. We can't really do anything with that. Actually, wait a minute, we might be able to actually. We can maybe... you know what, we might be able to actually. Although I hit the rock though. But I think if I were to hit that barrel there, I do think I can probably bounce the enemies, if I do it right. Interesting, that might be an option. That definitely could be one. But I do think definitely making our way over here with Edge is a smart idea. Because Edge can, do quite a lot on her own, for the most part, on this side of the map. Getting rid of the inner circle Goombas here is definitely a start. Because getting, a decent cleanup in the middle there is actually a pretty good idea. But not bad at all. So, we still have quite a little bit we can still do with our turn. Looks like we can get rid of this Goomba over here, so let's definitely do that right away. Just because getting rid of him is probably a smart idea. But there we go, not bad. Okay, so we don't have any more dashes left. We can go for this guy, though. So let's definitely get Mr. Goomba out of here. So, one less Goomba. We've gotten seven of them down, we only need 10 more of them left. So, pretty good movement so far. I think what we can do is obviously get this guy as well. So, let's definitely drop him on out of the map as well. Not bad, not bad. Other than that, it's really kind of iffy what we want to do here. We can send in the Oozed, I think. So I think that's probably what we're going to do. So Mario, you send in some help. This might get the attention of the lone wolves. Although he didn't move into an area that he really should have, to be fair. But could have been worse. Definitely could have been worse. Although, I do think we should maybe move back for Rabbid Peach here. Because Rabbid Peach could probably still do something on this map, from what we could see. Because we do have the triple troll, so we can obviously, shoot over cover if we need to. So, we can definitely do something here. Although, how do we want to do it is a good question. Because we can do something along the lines of that. And I'm pretty sure that blows up both barrels, I'm pretty sure. Interesting. I think getting over here is probably the safer option, though. Just because we're behind this rock, that won't break. And, well, that pushed both the enemies away from us. So not bad at all. Okay, not bad. I'll definitely take that, that's pretty good. Then obviously we can start dealing with Mr. Splashy over here that got bounced on down here. I think first things first is turning ethereal, though. I think we're perfectly safe to go invisible now. And then honestly, from here, I think it's definitely Flying Blade for you. Make sure that goes into you. Could have went his first Stormblade there, to be fair. But, thing is if this guy decides to move, he's going to be blasted for sure. So if he wants to try it, well, let's be honest here, Hero Sight is definitely ready for him. Although we won't get any bonuses for knocking him out, because if we shoot and knock out an enemy, we actually get another Hero Sight. But sadly, because of the fact that, well, let's be honest here, no enemies nearby us at the current moment are, going to be, knockoutable. These Goombas are going to be completely, pretty much ready for themselves. I don't really think if, doing anything like that will help us too much. Thankfully, he did move in a way, so we did get our Hero Sight back. Although, because there's no enemies that are, knockoutable on the Goombas here, because normally we would knock them out. Well, let's be honest here, we really can't do much with that. Although, it's still, an idea. Also, that looks like a double Goomba knockout over there. The ones in the middle there. Interesting. It looks like two of them, actually, if I can get to both of them. Although, I don't know if we can really run that far with Edge. But definitely looks like an idea. Sadly, the Oozers are going for the Goombas, though. So, not the smartest idea. I wish I could poison them. That would be pretty interesting. Although I do see an idea here. We can easily go with Mario here for something. Although I want to see what Edge can do first. Yep, we can go for the double dash here. I was right on that. So that's a free knockout there for two of them. So I'll definitely take that. I feel like I can maybe get to these Goombas, maybe. Nope, just out of range. Maybe if we get a little bit more range, we can. It's not 100%, but it might end up being the case. Or maybe we can bounce off of somebody to get the extra movement we need. But for the most part, here, we definitely need to help out Mario. Thankfully, we can get the extra radius outside of our current jump zone, which is pretty interesting. Don't know how that really counts, but I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. Oh, we're in sight of you. Could have been worse, to be fair. Really could have been worse. We're going to double jump off of you guys, and then I'm going to see if I can maybe barely get the stomp in you. Not bad, not bad. I'm going to take your villain sight. I think we'll be pretty good with that, so I'm going to take that back with me. Just because I think that's definitely, like, we got that down. So I'll take the extra take there that we did, because we can easily use that to our benefit. So I think we definitely go heal here in a second. But let's definitely get these Goombas out first, because those are top priority for sure. Thankfully, they can't jump out of my hands or anything like that, because if they could, that would be a different situation with picking these guys up. But down they go, just like so. And now we definitely prepare for heals. So heal up everybody. We can heal up our Ooze Master. That's interesting. Okay then. That's pretty cool to know. So Rabbid Peach is good with the extra characters we can spawn. That's interesting. Okay, cool. I like that. So now that that's down, now we just need to figure out where we want to go. Because right now it's more about Edge making their way over to these Goombas. Because as long as we, get rid of another chunk of the Goombas, I think we're pretty good on this map. So as long as we're, well, I kind of wanted to move in a more better position than, moving in a way that I didn't deal with those enemies, but, okay, well, we could still probably get there with the Rabbid Peach, so maybe it's not too bad. It was more wanting Edge to do that, but we moved just out of range on accident, which is a little tad unfortunate, just because that was not my intention on dropping, but we can still get them, thankfully. I was a little worried about that movement, but thankfully it still counts. Okay, cool. So down they go. Now we just need to figure out where the enemies are and how we want to deal with them. So Triple Troll can't reach there, so that's not good. But is that really going to affect us? This guy's watching us from above. Don't really like the idea of that, but we really can't do anything about it. Although, I might be able to deal with him from up here. Kinda, yeah, we can definitely try something. Let's try for a knockout on him. It's not 100%, but it's something. No, not bad. Definitely not bad. We do have Ethereal backup, so if we want to, we can instantly turn invisible again. So I think just standing here and being safe is probably the safest option right now. Although, maybe what I can do... No, I think it's safer to just stay where we are and just prepare for what the enemies end up wanting to do. Because we're definitely going to get shot here in a second if we don't do this right. And honestly, Rabbid Peach is pretty fine. We're going to get blasted a couple times. But for the most part, it's not too bad. As long as they're not like Scopers where we're going to take too much damage. As long as we don't get hit by their villain sight, we're perfectly fine. Also, to be honest here, the ink from the Oozer on the Goomba ended up going over there. That's funny. But I think we had just won this map just because of the fact of where everything currently is. So obviously turn invisible so they don't see Edge, and make a free run for it right to the final Goomba. Knock him right on into the pit of eternal doom of nice everlasting water, and down goes another mission. Not bad, not bad. Honestly, GG, easy. I'll definitely say that one, just because that wasn't too hard of a map, honestly, to get all the Goombas. Although we didn't have to swap up our team, for good reasons, obviously. But not bad. And level 25 out of it, too. So, definitely, an extra level definitely will help us a little bit, because I'm still not sure on the max level in this game. So, any kind of skill prisms we can get will definitely come in handy, because more levels, more damage, more HP, and, well, more skills we can use in the future. So definitely always good to keep getting as much as we possibly can, and as much as we can get will definitely come in handy later. Let's definitely make sure everybody has what they normally use, though, because, well, let's be honest here, it's kind of a staple on our current abilities at the moment, just because this is what we've been running for a good while, so we definitely want to have these abilities. And also, what do I kind of want on Bowser, now that we have another point in? Not really much we can do. We can increase our range. That doesn't sound too bad. Although I can also go for HP because we have Regenesis, which isn't a bad idea either, to be fair. Could go extra crit damage, if we do crits. Definitely options for sure. Although I do think the weapon range might be better in this case scenario, just for now. I might change my idea later on it for sure, but for the current moment, I think that's probably a good idea. Other than that, we only have 1 point, so we can't really throw it into much. We could maybe throw it into glide damage. The dash damage could also be good as well. There's so many options for Rosalina, to be completely fair. But I think glide boost should be pretty good. I think. Because the extra glide boost might come in handy for later, because all the other characters we're using have the glide boost completely, upgraded. But honestly, for Edge, I think I might be able to go along the lines of maybe refunding both of these. Nope, still can't get it. I was wanting to get this chain boost, but I can't reach it yet. So I think, honestly, for the current moment, I think it's just putting 1 point into this back, and probably just doing what we had before. Because, honestly, I can probably work with what we have here. Stormblade range, a little bit of HP. Actually, wait, that's 2 points, I think. Yep, that is 2 points, so can't really go for that. We can go weapon range. That could be pretty good. Yeah, that's not too bad. Although, do we really need it? That's the real question. That is definitely a good question. But Stormblade range could be good, although we don't do a lot of damage with it. Having that final point there gives us basically double damage on Stormblade. So, because we don't have that, we can't really take full effect of it. But not bad. It's a pretty good, decent level there. Just because the extra range for the Stormblade might come in handy, because it's not a complete mid-range weapon yet. And it's been pretty, kind of short-range-ish in a way. So, having that extra boost can actually come in handy. You never honestly know. It really depends on how everything goes, to be completely fair. But for the most part, we can definitely work around it. Also, how many more missions were in here? Because I think we've definitely walked past pretty much all of them. Yeah, we did. We actually went through all those areas already, which is surprising. Also, can we see the train going through here? Because this is the train track, and we did finish fixing the Wiggler train. But it doesn't look like it is making its way over here. Maybe if we complete the world, it might. But that's interesting, though, that you could see the outside from inside here. But, let's see here. There's a Magnifal over there. There's a box over here. Other than that, I'm not really seeing much. There's some sort of puzzle, though, here. Oh, hello. What's this? Oh, a cork. Okay, then. So we can uncork valves in the floor here. Interesting. Although I'm not really sure what kind of puzzle we're dealing with here. Although there is a cork over here that we need to plug down as well. It looks like it's basically just blocking us from going to certain areas. Basically is what I'm understanding here. So, see if there's anything hidden here, because they definitely like to hide things in the ground if you're not, careful. So, you definitely want to look behind some of these, movable platforms sometimes, because they will hide things if you don't check. So, definitely want to make sure. Also, Bowser, come on, buddy. This is why Bowser sometimes with puzzles is not the smartest man, I'm gonna be honest. Come on, Bowser, you need to get out of there, please. Thank you. He likes walking in weird spots, for sure. So I think it's mostly because of where he's positioned in the team. I think if he's directly behind me, like Rosalina is, I don't think he will get as stuck as usual. Just because when he was behind me before, I didn't notice any problems like that, to be fair. Although, any reason why we need to plug these in, though? Because it looks like it really doesn't change anything. Unless maybe you need to plug up all of them? Okay, well, we can plug it up with the box here. Interesting. Oh, I get it. I have an idea. Okay, so this one's obviously for this one. what we're doing is we're trying to plug up all the holes. I understand it. So because we can keep this one off there, that's one that, obviously, this puzzle can obviously cover this hole over here. And now we have an extra little thing for any area that can't be plugged up via normal means. Okay, interesting. Well, this one can go to that one, I think. Looks like we're trying to create enough pressure for this rock to break, it looks like. Okay, it seems pretty simple. Simple and easy always is pretty interesting here. There's a rock over there we can get. Looks like there might be like a secret area back here if we go further enough. Because it looks like there's something back there, but I couldn't really see it. There's a ladder over here we can bring down. For the most part, it looks like we definitely grab this box and then put that on top of that little Sonic area and move it to the other side. So hopefully in turn... Well, actually the water is actually rising too when we do that, and that's interesting. Okay. Well, it makes sense because, like, the less areas open, well, it does definitely fits. Although, how do we get to that one over here? Because the ladder is up. Unless maybe jumping in the water? Can we go in the water at all? I don't think we can. Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense to me. Okay, well, there's no way to actually climb up there at the current moment. From this side, at least. Unless, oh, wait, another pathway over here that I didn't realize. And there was... Yep, there was a pathway back here. I thought so. I thought I saw something from above. And there was another rock for us. Cool. Okay, another rock for us. Which means we can block off another one of these areas. So I think what we should do is obviously get this one over here. Just to push this one away. Since, well, let's be honest here. No reason not to. But so far so good. Pretty interesting puzzle, though. Being, like, breaking rocks through the pressure of water is definitely something I wasn't expecting as, like, a puzzle for us to do. Can I drop this right on top of this? I think so. Nope. Doesn't not look like that's how you do that. But, it looks like maybe drop... Yeah, definitely drop this on top of that one. So, good thing that, you know, we can't drop that down there, because I think it would get stuck if I did that any other way. Let's make sure we push this on top of this little water pressure here. And then honestly, I think it's all about securing the final one, which was right back there. So drop this right here, and make our way right back onto the other side. And honestly, I think we have just solved this puzzle simple as, honestly, as we can see right now. Pretty simple, pretty easy, but pretty cool, honestly, at the same time. But just like that, down goes the last pebble, and down goes that water to open that little geode over there. Although no crystals inside it, which is kind of surprising, just because when you do break something that's undergone a lot of pressure, you'd think you'd find a lot of, like, crystallized rock and stuff, but nothing inside it. Oh, hey, it's a druid. So we found one of those druids that the one memory was bringing up. That dark mist tentacle sits on the spring that normally feeds Mount Spout. Show caution. The build-up of water pressure will be like... Be like what? Oh no, that was Genie. Oops. Oops, wrong voice, but we'll pretend that BeepO said that, I guess. Genie, I'm glad you're learning to express abstract ideas, but we're in no mood for more metaphors right now. Sorry, Genie. I didn't notice that was you talking there. That's a... Oof. Also, hey, hello, Spark. So this is obviously a Spark mission. Okay, well, now we know about it. That monstrosity has Terraflora on the verge of a drought. And behind on my latest, potions, that dark mist tentacle scares me silly. That's why I need a bravery potion. Bravery potion? Yeah, you definitely probably could use one, little Sparky. But, in the next episode, it looks like we are definitely making our way to the Dark Mist Tentacle for the very final one for Terraflora. And, well, preparing for the end of this world soon. Because, well, let's be honest here, the start of the end is finding the final Dark Mist Tentacle for a world. And, well, after that, well, cleanup time on Terraflora is definitely coming up. So, Spout Forth. Interesting name. Pretty cool, though. And honestly, pretty cool, like, little volcano for everything. Like, all these little puzzles were pretty cool, honestly. I had a lot of fun with this. But with that being said, thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. In the next episode, we will be more than likely finishing up the main story of Terra Florum, and well, let's be honest here, preparing for the cleanup of everything too, since, let's be honest here, we're definitely going to have what seems to be a spark hunt with the druid, which is pretty cool. Other than that, obviously some cleanup stuff. We obviously have our gateway that we still are definitely going to have to do, because we haven't done one yet for this world. We have a lot of things, and, well, we have actually done quite a lot of side quests already, so we actually might get to the next world very, very soon, actually, to be honest, because there's 23. We basically, I think we've gotten like 15, 16 already, so we're very close. So with that being said, honestly, have a wonderful rest of your day, keep being spooky, and we'll see you all in the next one. Peace out. Hey boys and girls, thank you all for watching today's episode. If you liked what you saw today, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe. And hit the bell notification down below. If you guys have any kind of suggestions for games, please put that in the comments down below as well. Thank you all for watching today's episode, and keep being spooky. Peace out, guys.